that's going to take you?
Well, again, I'm obviously waiting for the postal votes to come forward and to be counted over coming days, and then I'll have something more to say about obviously the result here.
Is Scott Morrison to blame for the loss across the board, and if not, what was to blame in your view?
Well, firstly, there's always lots of factors in a political result, and this is no different to other elections in that regard. Scott Morrison said yesterday himself, and we had a good chat on the phone last night, but he said publicly in his press conference that obviously as the leader he takes responsibility for the victories and for the defence. But as I said last night, I think he's provided outstanding leadership, extraordinary leadership in extraordinary times. There was no playbook for the pandemic. Yes, not everything went right, but not everything could go right. And I'm obviously very proud of the fact I was able to serve loyally as his deputy. I've always been loyal in the roles that I've had, whether it was under Tony Abbott or under Malcolm Turnbull and then under Scott Morrison. I think Australia is best served by stability at the top of the political ladder. And the fact that we haven't had changing prime ministers over the last 3 years, as we've seen on both sides of the political divide over the previous years, I think is a good thing. And that is one of the reasons why I was obviously strongly supportive of the laws of Scotland.
To what extent do you think climate change influenced the vote in Kooyong? And do you think the party probably didn't provide a clear enough agenda on that policy issue?
Well, John, I do think climate change is a salient and most important issue, not just here in Kooyong, but obviously for the country. What I do believe is that Australia has not been well served by the cultural norms on climate change. Whether you believe in it or you don't believe it, climate change is not a religion. It needs to be dealt with from a perspective of engineering, economics, and also environmental science. The Coalition has achieved a lot in helping Australia meet and beat its emissions reduction targets, and when we signed up at the Paris meeting to a 26 to 28% emissions reduction target by 2030 on our 2005 levels, we've actually seen Australia deliver emissions that are down by 20% today, on track to see those emissions down by 35% by 2030. That's a better result than many other comparable countries, and better than the United States, better than Canada, better than France, better than New Zealand, better than many other countries. And we have a technology investment roadmap that is investing in everything from clean hydrogen in regional cities to microgrids, small-scale wind and solar, to Snowy 2.0, to carbon capture and storage. So we need, as a coalition, to be better at articulating what we have achieved and what we are doing in respect to climate change. Because when I have those conversations with people here in Kooyong and people across Australia, for many, those facts are not fully known as they should be. So Australia is responsible for 1.3% of the world's emissions. We need to do our part, but it is very much a global challenge. But as for the issue here in Kooyong, it was very high on people's agenda.